Hello everyone, welcome back to Allcarnews, and we are lucky enough to have yet another version of the amazing Lucid Air over on our channel for a one-week review. We started out originally almost 2 years ago now with the Lucid Air Grand Touring Performance, a model that no longer exists. But what we have here is, I think, one of the best Lucid Airs you can actually configure and purchase right now, as it offers an amazing breadth and blend of speed, flexibility, range options, and styling packages as well. So this is the all-new 2025 Lucid Air Touring. I wouldn't say all new, it's been out for a little bit of time, but a lot has changed for this 2025 model year. Pricing is a lot lower than for the Airs than it once used to be, and you have plenty of more options still to choose on your all-new Lucid Air. And it still offers amazing handling, amazing styling, incredible interior, and just general overall packaging capabilities. And if I actually had the money, I would probably go buy one of these right now. I love this car so much. I don't really want to give it back, but nonetheless, I'm going to take you guys on a full tour, an in-depth review of this all-new 2025 Lucid Air Touring all-wheel drive, and also stay tuned for a full road trip we did with this vehicle and plenty of other in-depth, detailed sub-videos we will soon put out. But nonetheless, let's go dive in. Okay, everyone, and as you know, we would probably start talking about the powertrain, but the Lucid Air has such a big front trunk, we got to talk about that first. So you can just hold down the button on your key fob there, and it will power open. You can also do this from the inside of the vehicle, and under this front area here is probably one of the best usages of an actual dedicated EV architecture still in the industry right now is the Lucid Air front trunk. You have a little around 10 cubic feet of space in the front, and that's not including the rear. And of course, this is still all-wheel drive, so we have that permanent magnet motor up front and out back here. Love the little subtle Air logo up front here, and it opens up. We have a subfloor over here that opens up to even more space. You can put this flat, and you can even have just this top tray as well. It is an insane amount of space and genuinely usable on a day-to-day basis. And you can see these little vents here that actually are coolers for your headlights, which is pretty cool because they're so advanced, so bright at night, they do generate just a little bit of heat. Hold down your key fob there, and that will close up that front trunk as well. So of course, what actually is powering this all-new 2025 Lucid Air Touring? Well, versus the larger battery-sized Grand Touring, this one has an 18-module battery, and it sits at around 92 kilowatt hours. With the smaller battery pack, you actually get a little bit more rear foot space than the Grand Touring, because without those extra modules of the battery pack, the floor is a little bit deeper in the rear, so it's actually more comfortable for rear passengers in this Touring or Pure models versus the Grand Touring or Sapphire models. Other with this battery pack, we're going to see around a maximum of around 406 miles on the EPA scale. That is with the smaller 19-inch aero wheels. This one has a little bit larger wheel size. They're still aero discs, but I believe the EPA range is around 377-ish miles, but still nonetheless, the Touring can also be one of the most efficient Lucid Airs as well, with the drag coefficient under 2, which is really impressive. It's like 1.97 around there when you go with the metal roof and the smaller aero wheels. Really cool stuff there. But this one is also incredibly powerful. So we have dual permanent magnet motors, both one up front, one out back, and that's making around 620-ish, 630-ish horsepower in that range. Over 880 pound-feet of torque still. So you don't need to step up to that Grand Touring or the Sapphire to really get an incredible amount of power out of your Lucid Air. This one still can do 0 to 60 in around 3 to 3.4 seconds, depending on your conditions, which is plenty quick enough for a luxurious yet also incredibly dynamic electric sedan. Now, one of the best parts of a Lucid Air not only is its incredible efficiency and range, but it's also its charging capability. The Lucids are one of the quickest charging electric vehicles on the market right now, at least in the United States and most of Europe, and they've run on an incredibly high electrical architecture with a high voltage, and it's almost around 900 volts, which is pretty nuts. And thankfully, they have this incredible technology under here called the Wonder Box, which is allowed as a kind of a inverter converter style box there that's able to kind of boost voltage up. So it is compatible with current Tesla superchargers, for example, with those magic connectors, or if you have an adapter and you can plug it in and it somehow works, these will soon have full access to all supercharger networks. But remember, since this is such a high voltage, some of the older superchargers that don't have those version 4 chargers and version 4 cabinets, it's only going to charge around 50-ish kilowatts on those particular ones. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. If you find a charger where it can supply this car with all the power it needs, you can charge, I think, up to around 250-ish kilowatts, which we actually just saw yesterday on an Electrify America charger, which is pretty impressive, which means you can add around 200 miles of range in just around 15 or 16 minutes. which is pretty impressive. This car can charge really fast, and even on level 2 charging, it can charge up to 19.2 kilowatts, which is also really quick. It also has complete plug-in charge capability when you can sign in through the Lucid app and the Lucid infotainment system, which is really cool. And this vehicle can support vehicle-to-vehicle charging, so you could actually charge a Tesla or another Lucid from the charge port of this vehicle at around, I think, 9 kilowatts of speed, which is pretty cool. So lots of fun charging capability stuff. Our charge port door is located right up front here on the driver's center, and it's fully powered. There's no cover, actually. The charger door itself is the cover for this vehicle, so that is also quite nice. Otherwise, charging on this thing is an absolute beast. Now, of course, the Lucid Air has not really undergone any dramatic changes in its design, and I think that's a totally good thing still for now. It's one of my favorite looking electric vehicles on the market still. It's super low, super unique, distinctive, and very luxurious of an overall, I think, shape and experience. It doesn't look like an egg. It doesn't look like a super technical, overstyled machine. It's very elegant. I almost want to say timeless. I think this is going to age really well. But we do have some newer options for the 2025 model year. In addition to this thing starting at a way lower price than it originally used to, this one's coming in at around $101,000 configured. That's with around 20 grand in options. So these Tourings used to be more expensive starting than they are now. So this particular one has this gorgeous Fathom Blue paint shade option. I think it's a really nice choice. You have a few different color options on the Lucid Air, which is nice. We also are getting the Stealth package, which is a must-have, I think, for these Lucid Airs. If you like the bright chrome work finish up here, of course you can have it on a lot of the earlier ones, but this Stealth package is not just a simple blacked out trim package. This is a almost dark chrome metallic style finish that you get around the entire exterior. So we're going to see it on this front bar up here. We're going to see it on accents and these air vents that are kind of built into the hood down here. You're going to find it all around the vehicle. This one also is getting the optional, yes, optional glass canopy roof. On the Touring and Pure, you actually have the options of choosing this roof, because standard you'll actually get a metal roof, and I can tell you now, in some markets you're probably going to want to go for that metal roof, as it not only decreases your coefficient of drag by just a little bit, it will make your head not feel like it's on fire sometimes, because despite this having a nice tint, it is definitely a warm experience in some sunny conditions, which thankfully Lucid sells some sunshades you can actually pop in there on their website, which if I owned this vehicle I would be purchasing immediately, because I've experienced the heat on my head this whole week and it's been a little bit frustrating, but overall still gorgeous design on these Lucid Air. Coming around to the side of the Lucid Air, we're going to find some of that more really nice dark trim on the side over here, and then we come over to our wheels. Now this is an optional wheel. This is the 20-inch wheel option. Like I said, standard is 19. Those are going to get you the best range. But these are a 20-inch aero disc style wheel option here. They have like these plastic inserts over here, and the rest are this nice kind of dark chrome metallic finish, very similar to these Stealth package trim we're getting on the exterior of the vehicle. We're also rocking Pirelli P0 all-season rubber on this one, so they have a little bit more tread as well. But they are also noise-canceling tires, so it's going to help to improve NVH of the vehicles, to reduce road noise, and they have a decent amount of sidewall actually, which combined with Lucid's wizard-like suspension. Remember, this car doesn't have air suspension at all, the Airs, but it's such an incredibly smooth, well-balanced, well-tuned suspension system. Paired with these tires, this has been, I think, actually one of the best riding Airs that I've been in. I've been in the Sapphire, I've driven that around. Definitely has that Lucid experience, but a little bit more stiffer, a little more toned in. This is a really nice, comfortable option. If you could also go up to 21s, but I think this 20 and the 19 inches are probably going to be your best bet on the Airs. They're just supremely comfortable, but I'm not too sure how I feel about the design of this particular wheel. Now coming around to the side and rear of the Lucid Air, very subtle little ducktail spoiler integrated into the rear trunk space as well, and we have that really cool kind of curved glass rear window there with the integrated light bar, and we have a sunshade in there that can power up and down, which is a really nice touch as well. We have pop-out door handles as well, and for all Lucid owners, I will have to say that there's been some minor updates with the very frustrating key fob, which I have on the roof right there because it's the only way to kind of keep it in its own position right now. It's a little bit better than it once used to be. See, this key fob, I just don't know if it's the tuning with the fob or the vehicle, but coming up with the comfort access to and from the vehicle can be a little bit finicky sometimes, as well as even pressing the buttons on the key fob. But if you dive down a little bit deeper under here, you're gonna see the absolute wild aerodynamic stuff that Lucid does underneath their vehicles. There's such aggressive kind of like air veins down here that if you're driving in the rain and you happen to look in your rear view mirror, the water is kind of like centered into the vehicle, shooting up in a very directed way. It almost looks like a race car. But the other fun trick back here is the massive rear trunk. So not only do you get a little over or around 10 cubic feet of space in the front trunk area, this rear trunk area offers an additional 22 plus cubic feet of cargo space. So you have this incredibly wide opening over here in the air. And on top of that, it's also really deep. And you have the added benefit of this underfloor storage area, which is like another, it's just nuts. There's so much storage space in this area. Let's go hop in the rear seats now. As you can see on the side, we have a really cool pop-out door handle situation here. You can actually just press them closed to lock the vehicle as well. Using the door handles pretty easily. They actually give a little bit of a give there, which is nice. And the doors open super, super wide. I would say that's a pretty solid 90-degree angle there. So big win here for Lucid. That's really nice. And since we have the comfort and convenience package, we're also getting soft closed doors, which is a really wonderful feature as well. And one of my favorite things about the Lucid interiors, this is the Tahoe theme interior. So we have a split interior design here, which is really cool. Let's hop inside and I'll tell you some fun stuff and features about this car. Getting in is pretty easy as well, nice and deep in this vehicle. And we'll test out the soft closed door feature right there. So I'm just gonna close the door just a little bit. You can hear it pull itself in a little bit more. And here is the rear seat of the Lucid Air Touring. Now, what I mentioned earlier is that the floor actually has more space, and you can actually see where that battery pack stuff would fill up the space here. If you go down here, you can see there's a little bit of a lip here. This is about like 2-3 inches of space would be filled up to here if there were the larger battery pack in this car. So we have a little bit more leg and foot area over here in the terms of depth, which means your legs don't feel like they're kind of high up in the sky, which is really nice. The floor mats in here are leather and this really nice carpet material. The whole floor is very carpeted. Everything that looks like leather pretty much will be leather. If it's metal and it looks like metal, it's metal. If it's wood, it looks like wood, it's wood. Just bringing you over to the door panel here, this whole thing is leather. The whole door is leather. The whole door, and it smells incredible in here. The whole lower door card over here in this tan is leather. The inside is felt lined as well. Very, very solid. Nice, very thick rubberized mats. The whole door and the other piece is leather. This is all a curved open pore wood trim. We have this really nice ambient lighting back here as well. And we have power rear sunshade. So if I hold this up again, our little sunshade is going to pop up for me, which is really nice. I can pop that down and then I can open my window as well. Of course, we have a nice little air vent back here wrapped in leather and metal. We have a full Alcantara lined upper roof area over here, and these are really nice with these nice leather straps over here. Very, very solid build quality in the Lucids. A little LED light we can touch there, and it's a piece of our speaker as part of our upgraded 21 speaker surround sound audio system. Even the backs of the seats are covered in this gorgeous textile material, and then just leather from top to bottom. We have this little storage cubby over here as well, and I love the little California bear Lucid puts on their vehicles as well. And just this amount of space back here is just truly nuts. You can have such a spacious and comfortable back seat as a rear passenger. And then you have the ability to fold down this center console area over here, which is of course wrapped in leather. And you get a leather armrest, which opens to a leather center console back here for rear passengers. So this is really cool if you don't have someone in the middle. 2 cup holders as well, and this slides right back up. We also have a ski pass through to the back trunk area over here. Coming into the center over here, you genuinely can fit 3 people. Look how much room each passenger actually has back here, and I am very comfortable as well. So this car is colossal on the interior. It's really, really impressive. There's really no floor hump whatsoever as well, so you have a pretty much totally flat floor. And that brings us to our central console area over here. So we can actually fold this piece down, and you're going to see you have a whole nice felt line storage area over here, pretty deep, which also hides 2 USB-C charging ports right there. And we have heated rear outboard seats in this vehicle, so I can tap this button, turn on our heated seats, and we have our own climate screen back here as well. We can control our rear sunshade. So if I press this button, I'm going to press extend rear sunshade, and that should extend our rear sunshade back there, which is really nice. And this will actually automatically go down when you're in reverse for the driver. So I can press it down here, and that should be able to kind of put down our sunshade as well. So that's really cool. Okay guys, let's go hop in the front now. Let's see if we get another animation out of our Lucid Air on the front. Ah, look at that. Cool light bar animation up front here as well. Getting in, nice solid door thunk as well. even with this soft close, which is really nice. You can hear a Lucid startup chime now on the interior of this Air, and it literally just starts up when you hop inside. You just get in, put your foot on the brake, and the vehicle is starting up ready for you. Quick overview, everything in this interior, I have to say, is built very, very well. Lucid uses a lot of great materials, like I mentioned in the back. Leather, metal, everywhere. I love all this open pore wood that they do all over the place. And even the switch here in the Lucids is very, very nice. I wish some other automakers these days would take note of really nice switch gear. I like this textile material on the lower dash area with very easy to use air vents, nothing kind of buried in the screen like that. And the entire dash as well is covered in this gorgeous, buttery smooth leather material with this really nice piping and stitching around it. Same thing with open pore wood. It's a nice space in here nonetheless. We have a really nice steering wheel here, and I have to say, if you think this shape is weird, just drive it and use it. It actually works super, super well. And the steering wheel leather is just so supple and soft and heats up really well with the steering wheel heating. And I like how kind of sit in you feel in this cabin. You feel like you're almost like in a BMW in the sense. You have a really nice surrounded view around you, incredible visibility. Generally, I would say most of the time, just this A-pillar is definitely on the larger side, even though it is really nice and wrapped in this microsuede material. But really great driving position in the Lucid, so that's really fantastic there. We have really nice stalks as well. A lot of these newer manufacturers don't do stalks and buttons as nice, but Lucid spent a lot of money and time in that, and these feel honestly some of the best in the industry. They're very, very soft to their touch. They don't have that hard motion to them. Same thing with our quick press for our wipers and turn indicators there. Of course, all of those controls are more accessible over here. So if our wiper controls will always be there, lock, charge port, front, lighting controls, as well as some quick access buttons for like de-icing. We also have windshield wiper de-icers, which is really fun. I love that feature there. Our drive selector is right here, so reverse, neutral, drive, and park. We have a very simple gauge cluster over here with the Air as well. Same thing with our steering wheel controls. This left-hand panel will control our Dream Drive Pro system we have on this vehicle as well. So we have automatic lane change. We have full radar adaptive cruise control, as well as a full cruise control with steering assist now, which is really great, and it works very well. I love how all this stuff illuminates as well. Very nice touch there. And our right hand side is for all of our entertainment options, which is great. And what has changed in this vehicle is the software has gotten so much quicker and better. Even the animation to move our center screen up down here, we can just swipe it up there. That actually works, I think, a lot quicker than it once used to. You just swipe it back down like that. I think that's a really nice, smooth operation. And the best part about this car is you can use Apple CarPlay, and it is a little bit on the smaller end, but it is flawless. It's never disconnected. It works so smooth, so well, and we have navigation directions from Apple CarPlay Maps pop up right there, which is really nice. The Lucid navigation, though, honestly, is really fantastic, and you can expand the screen down here, so you can have these two big views, kind of do your stuff down here and project it up there. You can even just, swipe it away if you need to, or just swipe it back down there if you need to as well. So you can see these animations and all the stuff have really been improved on the Air. We have our own built-in kind of music streaming services as well, so you can actually sign into things like Spotify, Tidal, radio, and iHeartRadio, all that stuff in the vehicle. Stick in the USB stick as well if you want some higher fidelity audio, or pop into Apple CarPlay stuff down there. You can even just swipe this down there to get a little bit of a larger format view down there, which is really cool for your favorites, Sirius XM channels and stuff as well. The screen is so easy to use, so simple and well laid out. Using our climate control is honestly not that confusing. So this one is getting heated and ventilated front seats. Massage is on another option, so this one does not particularly have that. I think you have to step up to the Grand Touring for that. Easy buttons, access to turn on and off climate as well. We even have a kind of pet mode as well. Other fun stuff here is we have our home panel, so we can change our drive modes really easily. So from smooth, swift to sprint, I like how Lucid keeps that simple there. And each time you do that, it'll bring up your regen braking option, so you can turn that off. You can put it into standard or high for your regen braking. I like that option there. We have easy access to our brightness for our total screen brightness as well, is really nice. We have easy access to our trip computer page as well. So you have trip A, B, and your last charge. You can reset those as well, which is nice. And we also have an access to our glove box. So glove box is actually quite big, illuminated, and covered in this really nice textile material as well. And of course, we have easy access for our locks, trunk, front, and all of our controls for our steering wheel adjustments, mirror adjustments are all done through here. And it's honestly very easy to use, actually, so I don't really have an issue with that. And our additional seating controls. So you can see how many different options we have for our seat controls up here, and they're all very easy to access and use, and I like the visuals on here as well. I really appreciate that. So thank you, Lucid. And we have our theme. So this is our ambient lighting theme, but it also changes the entire kind of coloring of this panel here. So we have this really cool ambient light strip right above us, as well as on the doors, under the dash, on the side area over here. You can kind of see some of it. It's a little bit better to see at night, but we can easily adjust the brightness of those right here, and we can change the color and themes from the space, solitude, inspire. But you can also see how that affects the entire car's system here. So if we go to solitude, this whole screen and all the UI of the car actually changes to that color, which is a really cool touch there. I really like this auto wheel park curb assist and curb rash alert. It only works during the daytime actually, but as you can see right here, if you're kind of going to a curb, the car thinks that it looks like you're going to curb your wheel. It's going to alert you really nice. But remember, it has to be at low speed and in higher light conditions. At night, it won't actually work. But that brings us over to our fantastic camera system. Lucid does cameras so well. Easy access to our front and rear views, and each of them we can make panoramic or more narrow, which is nice. And down here, I love this camera. So you can have it on this top-down view here, or you can just throw it down like that, and you'll get a much more easy 360 view around the vehicle right there, which is really, really helpful and useful. But we also have the auto park feature there. So in drive, we can kind of drive past some vehicles there. If we're in a parking lot, press auto park as well, and that works well, and also will direct you outside of a space as well. Throwing up this screen, I almost forgot to mention, we have lots more storage down here. So really nice rubber mats here. You can store stuff. And in our center console area over here, we have a nice leather stitch center armrest here. Pop that open here. We have a nice little tray for some storage. Take that away and you have a nice felt line storage space over there. And closing this up, we have really nice design on this as well. Feels very premium. Open up this massive open pore wood panel here. You're going to find some more storage space over here. So we have 2 cup holders over here, wireless charging mat, wireless charger here, and a USB-C and USB-A port that I still hate the placement of these. Lucid, I know I've said this before. I know you guys are kind of working on it and the gravity and stuff to readjust things, but I wish you could fix this on the air. And I say it's annoying because when you put your cable in, it kind of sticks straight up and hits this little door here and kind of gets a little bit bent. Enough blabbing on, let's go drive this Lucid Air because it is a wonderful, wonderful car on the road. So smooth, so great in terms of handling as well, and very efficient. It is a little bit on the rainier side today, but no issue for the Air. It's amazing traction management systems. And of course, this has all-wheel drive in the Touring model. Now, the Touring, we're just taking a quick drive today. A little introduction of this Air Touring before we dive into the full review and POV driving impressions. The Touring is sort of the middle child of the Lucid Air pack. It has an incredible suspension, a really great grip, really, really great steering system as well. I love the Air's steering rack. It's so direct. Not a lot of feel per se, but the precision and the weight is just absolutely perfect. Quick little acceleration. This thing's so quick. You know, the only thing I always complain about the Air is that the visibility from this giant A-pillar is just poor. Just visibility in the Airs in general aren't really the best. There's a lot of very low roof line, which is all aimed towards really incredible drag efficiency, very low drag efficiency, coefficient of drag here, but you know, that's the Air experience. Great cabin. I really like the interior of these Airs, very cockpit driver focused as we see. And again, without having an Air suspension, Lucid has created such a fantastic just regular suspension system on this car without air springs. It just does a great job at soaking up bumps. You would think it has air springs while also keeping the body incredibly controlled and tight around corners. Lucid is a master at making the best of their platform. They really mastered using that low center of gravity, the unique proportions of the vehicle, and everything. For now, let's go hop out onto the highway, test out Dream Drive, especially in the rain here, because I actually haven't been using it that much this week. I've just been enjoying driving the Lucid Air because it is really a driver's vehicle at the end of the day. It's so much fun to drive around. And also this week, guys, I'll go to our trip computer. I've been going off of trip A. I almost have traveled 80 miles so far with this vehicle, almost around 4 miles per kilowatt hour. I in all honesty, I have not been driving very efficiently whatsoever. So I'm going to attempt to do a very efficient drive, so we'll see what we can actually get there. But you can see this last trip be a few other journalists who have had this around 600 miles, averaging around 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour. When you are driving in an efficient manner and really focused on getting the best range, this thing can pull some crazy efficiency numbers. Let's pop it into Swift here. We can adjust our regen, so we get a quick acceleration onto the highway in just a second. Oh. That really throws you back into your seat there. The Lucid Air's acceleration is unlike any other EV, even the crazy high performance EVs like in a Taycan and stuff. The way these motors just come into play is absolutely nuts. It's just instant amount of torque, and I think the Sapphire, when I was able to drive that this past summer, it really has warped my mind in terms of what vehicles these days are capable of. It's truly nuts performance. But we're out here on the highway, and let's test out this Dream Drive system. So unlike many other just conventional gas and some other EVs, we have buttons on the steering wheel to activate that. The Lucid Air has 3 right here, as well as this little control wheel, and I've found you just turn the cruise control systems on, your screen pops up, and we should just be able to press start, and drive assist has been activated. Wonderful. So we can adjust our speed pretty easily via this little scroll wheel right here. Our right hand side is for our volume, so let's set our speed right there, and we're out here on the highway. You do have to keep your hands on the wheel still. It's not a hands-free style system. It's telling me to keep my hands on the wheel. It's a little sensitive, but I like the visualization we're having on here as well. It works pretty good. You can see all the cars going on around you, and we do actually have active lane change assist as well, so I'm glad that's now functioning on this Lucid. So I'm just going to put my hand here, maybe here. I'm going to activate my stalk right there. It says lane change initiated. I'm going to look, but the car is changing lanes by itself. You have to keep your hands on the wheel though, as required, but that works pretty well. One of the quicker ones that I've experienced. I really criticize these new lane change assist systems because some of them just take way too long, to the point where it's just unsafe. BMW, I think, still takes the crown, but this is pretty close to those. Really quick and confident lane change, and this is safe and sound for the driver and passengers, because this car actually has sensors all around it. We have ultrasonic sensors, radar sensors, all of that the like. So I have a lot more faith in this than just those kind of pure camera-based system that Tesla has gone with, which I really don't think is the right way forward at all. And there's a lot of very difficult conditions where those vehicles need other types of kind of sight and sound and kind of other motion to be able, other ways to detect motion around them other than just cameras, which can be easily kind of distraught or distorted. So using those both systems is 100% the correct way to be doing this going forward. So everyone, you join us out here on the highway to wrap up our week with the 2025 Lucid Air Touring. And of course, you know, I just love this car so much. It has its own little quirks, like the sun beating on my head with this canopy glass roof, though remember, it is an option on the Touring, so you don't have to get it, and there is sunshades you can get there, and some visibility issues with this large A-pillar. But in my own personal experience, that is the only issues that I think I can even come up with the Lucid Air Touring. This is just a great car in all around just general situations. It has great range, great driving dynamics, great performance as well for the blended price here. You know, we're in between that Grand Touring and base Pure model as well, so you have that mix configurability there. So I think it really is the sweet spot in the Lucid lineup. It does a lot of things really, really well, and if you can get one of these used or closer towards its starting MSRP price, I think you will get a wonderful, wonderful, luxurious, performance-oriented, yet also comfortable and just overall luxurious electric sedan here. And with the quick charging, the great range, just awesome features, I really can't see you're not liking it. So definitely go give one a try. If you're not interested in the Air sedan, you don't like sedans, you want more, you know, of an SUV shape, there's the Gravity now, so you can go option that vehicle as well. Insane amounts of space, next generation technology. So this is nuts, this stuff, and that takes it a whole other level. As always, guys, thank you for joining me here on Allcarnews. I'm gonna pop this Lucid Air Touring into its Dream Drive Pro system. Can help us cruise around here on the highway, and will give us an automatic lane change to end off this video. Thanks y'all for watching, and cheers.